Hello race fans and welcome to Eagle Eye's preview of the Daytona 500. Today we will be looking at the 63rd running of the race, and along the way we'll meet all the drivers entered. Stick around to learn some interesting and cool facts about most of our drivers, so sit back, relax, grab a snack, and let's go racing! The Daytona 500 is a 500-mile race that marks the start of the regular season. This year will be the 63rd running of the prestigious race. The race will feature 3 stages, being 65, 65, and 70 laps in length. Should the race need an overtime like we saw in the last 3 races, there will be an unlimited amount of attempts. Last year's race featured 209 laps, whereas the 2018 and 2019 races had 207 laps each. Let's go down the entry list and try to introduce our drivers that will attempt to take home the Harley J. Earl Trophy. Starcom Racing's Quinn Houff will be competing in his second Daytona 500. Last year's race didn't go very well as he was involved in a wreck and finished 39th. This year he brings mane and tail on board for the 500 and future races. The 2017 Daytona 500 champion will be looking to take home his second Daytona 500 crown. Kurt Busch returns to Chip Ganassi for the 3rd year with Monster Energy on the car. In 19 career races in the 500, Busch boasts a respectable average start at 15.5, and his 95 laps led in 2007 are tied with Denny Hamlin as the second most led in a race by active drivers. 2012 NASCAR champion Brad Keselowski is still chasing his maiden Daytona 500 victory. Viewed by many as one of the greatest on the superspeedways with many Talladega crowns, how has he been able to come home empty-handed year in and year out? He has 8 top 10 starts at Daytona, including 3 third-place starts. However, none of these came in the February race. His 7th-place start in 2017 remains his top starting spot. He also has one of the highest DNF counts of all the drivers in the field, with 6 of his starts ending prematurely. With Discount Tire on board for the race, will he find victory lane, or will he end up with a 7th DNF? The number 3 is most famous for Dale Earnhardt. However, in 2018, Austin Dillon brought the iconic number back to victory lane, outdueling Aric Almarola in the final laps for his Harley Earl. His average start and average finish are both sub 15, which are great considering the chaos the race can bring. The 13.9 average finish is helped greatly by the fact that he has finished every race that he has started. Dillon will be bringing Bass Pro Shops on board for the race as he hopes to return to the famed victory lane. Former winner Kevin Harvick is looking for his second trophy. The 2007 winner is one of 3 drivers competing in their 20th Daytona 500, the other 2 being the aforementioned Kurt Busch and Ryan Newman, who will be talked about briefly. Harvick's stat in the race are fairly even, sitting at 15.4 average starting position and 16 for average finishing position. Busch Beer is known for their wacky promos at Daytona, and this year is no different, featuring the hashtag #TheCrew as their promotion. Kyle Larson is making his return to the upper series of the sport after a horrible off-track 2020, driving the renumbered 88 but using the crew with a 48, but not to be confused with the new 48 crew, which was on the 88. He is driving the 5. Larson is making his 8th Daytona 500 start in the hopes of changing what is an average Daytona 500 career. His mid-pack averages are highlighted by a best start of 8th and a best finish of 7th. Nothing flashy from Larson here. Larson will be sponsored by Nation's Guard for the race and a couple races early on in the season. As mentioned earlier, Ryan Newman is one of 3 drivers making their 20th start in the race. Newman is another driver with mid-pack averages sitting at 20.4 for starting and 20.2 for finishing positions. The 2008 Daytona 500 champion is looking to put the horrific wreck of 2020 behind him. Bringing new sponsor Kohler Generators on board for multiple races this year, Newman will be looking to start the 2021 season on a high note. We now come to the first driver in a new place for 2021. Corey LaJoie is moving over from the 32 Go Fast Racing Ford over to the number 7 Spire Motorsports Chevy. For the 500, new sponsor U-Theory will be on board as LaJoie hopes to bring home another top 10 finish. In his 4 races, he is averaging a plus 10 finishing position compared to where he starts. Talk about getting the most out of your equipment. While doing the research for this video, there was one statistic that stood out to me as insane. Tyler Reddick has not finished a race at Daytona in the Cup Series. With 2 DNFs in the 500 to his name and a DNF in the summer race from this past year, Reddick will be looking to make something happen with new sponsor Lenovo on the hood this year. Defending champion and least popular driver, Chase. Okay guys, that was just a joke. Please don't dislike this video. I worked really hard on it. Come on guys, seriously, it's just one joke, please. Elliott is still looking for his Daytona 500 crown. He boasts one of the best average starting positions at 9.8 and has won the pole twice. The greatest stat of all, of course, is the number of laps he's led at the Daytona 500 at 69. Nice. Unfortunately, as one of the favorites for this race, that number will most likely be changed. With a reworked Napa scheme, Chase will be looking for a strong start to the season. Aric Almirola, or Aric Almirola as I like to call him, is still chasing redemption after a heartbreaking 2018 Daytona 500. Almirola's stats show him as another mid-pack average driver with a couple DNFs and low 20s for starting and finishing positions. Always the dark horse, Almirola is looking to be above average in his Smithfield Ford. Smithfield is doing a promotion giving away money every race and a grand prize of $10,000 if Aric wins a race. The link to join the promotion will be in the description, and it also brings you to this neat little browser game that I'm playing. Denny Hamlin is arguably the greatest to never win a championship, and 2021 is shaping up to be his year. With a renewed contract extension signed to Joe Gibbs and his own team with 2311 Racing, Hamlin has all the tools around him to start off strong. He is one of a select few who has won multiple 500s and one of an even smaller group to win back-to-back. Dating back to 2014, Hamlin has 6 top 5 finishes in 7 years. FedEx will be back on board and hope to see Denny deliver those dubs. Can Denny become the first to win 3 in a row, or will he come up short? The last 2 seasons have featured legendary battles on the superspeedways between Denny Hamlin and Ryan Blaney. In 2018, Blaney led 118 of the 207 laps and is the only active driver to lead over 100 laps in the race. Runner-up in 2017 and 2020, Blaney is looking to start 2021 with a trip to victory lane. The Menard-sponsored driver's average start of 16.5 is almost identical to the finish of 16.7. Look for consistency with Blaney. Garrett Smithley is no stranger to the Cup Series. However, in his 4th year of racing at the upper echelon of the sport, he has never made a start at Daytona. With a single start at Talladega last year, it is very difficult to predict how he will do. Racing in the trophy tractor Ford for MBM Motorsports, Smithley will need to qualify his way into the loaded 500 field. Xfinity phenom Chase Briscoe is one of 5 drivers starting their maiden Daytona 500. Without Cup stats, it's very hard to draw trends and predictions for him, but I still think that Briscoe will perform well in his first attempt at the 500. High Point will be on board for Briscoe for the 500 and races throughout the season. In a shocker of all shockers, 1990 Daytona 500 champion Derek Cope will be entering in the number 15 Jacobs Company machine. An underdog in 1990, Cope looks to ride another Cinderella story in a victory lane. However, his 6 DNFs are tied for second most among active drivers. Fun fact, Derek Cope was actually born 3 months before the first running of the Daytona 500. Another first-timer, Kaz Gralla, is making his second start at Daytona, his first on the superspeedway and his first with Kaulig Racing. Despite all predictions being that Justin Haley would be given the nod for the number 16, Gralla was picked to drive the Hyper Ice Chevrolet. Without stats again, it is difficult to draw conclusions. However, look for Gralla to keep his nose out of trouble in his first event of 2021. Lost in the chaos of last year's finish was Chris Buescher, coming in a Daytona best finish of 3rd. In his 2nd year at Roush's Cup team, Buescher is looking to improve both his average finish and average starting positions. Another solid run in the Fastenal Ford will help start his season off strong. 2-time Cup Series champion has won just about every race there is to win, but there's still one race that eludes him, the Daytona 500. Busch is known for leaving an empty slot in his trophy case for the Harley Earl that he hopes to one day capture. With 296 laps led, this makes him the driver in the field with the most laps led without a win. Busch's runner-up finish in 2019 remains his closest attempt in 15 tries. The M&M sponsored driver is looking for some sweet luck to start his year off right. Another driver chasing his first Daytona 500 win is Martin Truex Jr. Like his teammate, Truex has notched a couple runner-up finishes in the past. With his last 2 races ending early, Truex needs to make it to the stripe to make a statement going into 2021. Bass Pro Shops will be on board for the race as he attempts his 17th Daytona 500. The last of the 4 Gibbs boys is Christopher Bell. Making the move from the 95 last year, Bell takes over the famed 20 car with DeWalt on the hood for his 2nd attempt at the 500. With the DNF last year, 2021 should provide a clean slate for him to succeed. Matt Benedetto returns to the Wood Brothers 21 for one last year and hopes to find his way into victory lane for his first career win. In 2019, Benedetto led 49 laps before heartbreakingly being caught up in a late wreck, ending his day early. With mid-pack statistics, Benedetto is hoping to take his Motorcraft Ford Mustang to the front. Former Daytona 500 champion Joey Logano is seen as one of the more aggressive drivers in the field, sometimes to a fault. His statistics show his plate track prowess. An average start of 14 and an average finish of 14.3 are among the best in the field. Logano is hoping to bring Shell Pennzoil back into victory lane. Bubba Wallace was one of the most talked about drivers of 2020 and one of the biggest names during silly season, driving the number 23 DoorDash Toyota from Michael Jordan. Yes, Michael Jordan. Bubba is still searching for his maiden victory in the Cup Series. Wallace is one of the stronger plate races in the field with an average start of 10.3 and an average finish of 18.3. In his rookie season, Bubba brought his car home in second place, which still stands as his career best finish. Look for Bubba to be up front at some point during the race. William Byron is looking to build on a career season in 2021. The winner from the summer Daytona race, Byron is hoping to make it 2 in a row. The pole sitter from 2019 and a dual winner from last year, his average start is among the best at 12.7. However, Byron has been involved in race-ending wrecks in the last 2 years, including a heartbreaking 40th place finish last year. Longtime sponsor Exalted changed their lookup for the new season, giving Byron his own 24th for the first time in his Cup career. Defending Xfinity champion Austin Cindric is making his Cup debut in the Verizon Ford Mustang. Cindric is known for his ability on the road courses, but with teammates like Brad Keselowski, Ryan Blaney, and Joey Logano, I believe that Cindric is in good hands in terms of mentorship. Like Briscoe, he's a smart driver and should do well in his first Daytona 500. Michael Mcdowell is an often overlooked driver when it comes to the superspeedways. Turning an average start of 27.1 into an average finish of 17.9, Mcdowell has failed to finish the 500 only one time in his career. Last year he led only one lap, which happened to be his first lap he's ever led at the 500. The Love's Travel Stop driver is hoping to lead more laps in this year's run in the race. David Reagan is making another appearance at the top level of competition for the second year in a row. Last year he notched a career best of 4th in the Daytona 500. Making his 15th start in the race, he'll be sponsored by Select Blinds, which, on a complete side tangent and completely unsponsored, did a wonderful job with the blinds to my new house. Look for Reagan to run up front and go for the win. The unluckiest driver from last year, in my opinion, Ryan Preece, is attempting the race without a charter this year. This means he'll either need to be qualified on speed or race his way in through the duels. His teammate won the pole last year, so there's definitely speed in those JTG cars. With the best finish at 8th in 2019, Preece definitely has a good chance to make the race in his Cottonelle Chevy. One of the biggest surprises of the offseason was the driver of the 38 being changed. Anthony Alfredo will be making his Cup debut, replacing John Hunter Nemechek. Alfredo ran a limited schedule with RCR in the Xfinity Series, and as a talented young driver, Alfredo will be looking to channel his fast pasta into his speedy cash Ford Mustang. Cole Custer turned heads last year in Kentucky when he took his car 4 wide into turn 1 on the final lap. Looking to build on his Rookie of the Year season, Custer will want to start the season off strong with a win in Daytona. With the DNF last year, the only way to go is up. He will be driving the HaasTooling.com Ford Mustang. The rookie who isn't a rookie but really feels like a rookie but isn't, Ross Chastain takes the helm of the number 42 Clover Chevy for the 500. The Watermelon Assassin is competing for Cup points for the first time in his career but is actually attempting his 3rd Daytona 500. In 2019 he recorded a top 10 finish but is looking for more coming into 2021. Another driver who's known for their aggressive style, keep an eye out for some big runs, big pushes, and even bigger blocks being thrown by Chastain. Eric Jones moves over to the iconic number 43 for 2021. No stranger to victory lane at Daytona, Jones has wins in the summer race and was the winner last year for the Clash. He hopes to round out his Daytona trophy case with his own Harley Earl. A finish 3rd rounding out a JGR 123 in 2019 marks Jones' best finish in the race. And look for Jones' knowledge to Daytona to help propel his Almarola Chevy to the front of the pack. Last year's pole sitter Ricky Stenhouse Jr. turned heads after putting his JTG Daughtery Chevy on the front row. Looking to build upon that great start, Stenhouse is hoping to bring his Kroger Chevrolet across the finish line in first. Known for his aggressive nature on the superspeedway, Stenhouse's 2 career victories have come on the high banks of Daytona and at Talladega. His averages are mid-pack at 19.1 starting and 20.3 finishing, with a pair of DNFs in 2017 and 2018. Look for Stenhouse to drive to the front very quickly. When NASCAR legend Jimmy Johnson retired at the end of last year, Alex Bowman was picked to fill a very large pair of shoes. Bowman is a former pole sitter at the 500 and boasts the best average start among active drivers at 8.5. Like his teammates Byron and Elliott, he's still searching for ways to turn that starting average into wins and top 5s. The Ally sponsor driver has not DNF'd at the 500 and most likely lead laps at some point during the race. Khloe Kardashian is going to be driving the Nerdtech Chevrolet with Rick Ware Racing. Sorry about that. Cody Ware is going to be the one driving the Nerdtech Chevrolet this year. After racing only once this past year, Ware looks to return strong. Cody has one start in the 500, which ended early, coming home in 39th. Hopefully this year goes much better for him. Josh Belicky is making his Daytona 500 debut. Having driven for Rick Ware and Tommy Baldwin in the past on a part-time schedule, he returns to take the helm of the 52 car for the full season. Wisconsin Lighting Lab will start the season on the hood of his Ford Mustang. Rounding out the Rick Ware stable is Joey Gase. Gase will be bringing Page KC Construction on board for the 500. Gase has 2 starts and a DNQ at the 500, and in both of his finishes he's come across the line in 23rd. Gase has not announced his full race schedule in the Top Series, but a good finish here could mean more races that open up to him. In the past, Brandon Gaughan did the driving roles for the 62, however with his retirement following the 2020 season, it was unclear if the team would shutter their operations or find a new driver. Last year's Xfinity Daytona winner Noah Gragson has been named to drive the 62 Beard Oil Chevy. Honoring the late Mark Beard on the headrail for the race, Gragson will be powering his way to the front. Timmy Hill will take the reins of the 66 for his second attempt at the 500. A DNF last year provides a clean slate for Hill to go out and succeed. He has to qualify for the race as he is one of the 8 open cars attempting to get in. The pictures of the car appear to be sponsored by VSI Racing or something similar to that. Jamie McMurray is making his return to the Daytona 500 with Spire Motorsports and Advent Health. The 2010 winner had a rough start to his Daytona 500 career, seeing him DNF in his first 4 years. His average finish at 25.6 is near the back in terms of drivers entered and second worst of the former winners in the field. Will his return to the Daytona 500 mirror that of 2010, or will he end another one prematurely? One of the new teams this year, Live Fast Motorsports, will feature the not quite a big hit game, NASCAR Heat 5 on the hood. BJ McLeod will be making his start for the team, and in his 2 prior starts he has started 38th and has a finish at 38th in 2020. Looks like 78 is the new 38, or I don't know, something like that. Ty Dillon will be making starts in the Xfinity and Cup Series this year with Toyota-backed teams. Driving the number 96 Bass Pro Shops machine for Gaunt Brothers Racing, Dillon is a likely underdog story. With multiple top 10s and lesser equipment in Daytona, including a career best of finish of 4th in the summer race, Dillon is one to watch as the laps wind down. Last but not least, we have Daniel Suarez. Suarez is another driver in a new place this year with brand new team Trackhouse Racing. Suarez's stats at Daytona leave much to be desired, having only ever finished 1 race in the Cup Series at this track. Will having a new team and sponsor in iFly be able to get Suarez across the line, or will he have to wait until next year? So on that note, let's end the video here. I'm going to pick Eric Almarola or Joey Logano to win the race on Sunday. Let me know who you're going to pick down in the comments below. Checkered flag is flying, driver. You're clear all around.